Welcome to my channel. I'm Classy Lady. Thank you for coming over this afternoon. I'm sorry, this evening. I normally come on at 9 o'clock at night. Sometime I might pop on during the daytime, play music, or do a ride along. So I'm just going ahead and talking. I'm a new content creator. I've been on, have my channel for about 8 weeks as of yesterday. I'm trying to get my first 500 subscribers and also my first 1,000 watch hours. So I have over 100 videos, lives, and shorts and lives. Only probably about 2 or 3 videos. So if y'all could take a look at them, hit the thumbs up button to get me out there in the algorithm, get me out there in the world, so that I can circulate and populate. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're just tuning in, you can either watch this intro, this little 1 minute intro, or you can fast forward to like about the 5 minute mark as I wait on some of my people to come in. And I forgot to post it. So, welcome in. Good evening. Good evening. Could you hit the like button for me, please? That's the thumbs up button. Got more cowards that come in here. They think you can see them. Can you hit the like button for me, please? And thank you. Appreciate you coming over. Wait until some people see that I'm on. I made a mention of it. I forgot to post it. So I got to give them a few minutes to find me. But thank you this evening for coming over and wanting to sit in my chat. Whether you are new to my channel, you're coming back to my channel, or just coming to see what I'm talking about. So I'll get started in a minute. Just trying to let my chat build up a little bit. Welcome over, everybody. I see y'all coming in. Can y'all go ahead and hit the like button? Let me know you're here and you're here to stay. Hey, hello. Hello, Sosa. I'm not sure what you're laughing at, but hello. I guess I look funny looking to you. But please don't come over here starting nothing. Oh, Lord. Aliyah or Allah. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. I guess they're sending me bots today. Can y'all go ahead and hit the like button since y'all over here looking? I am Classy Lady. I am new to YouTube. Been on here about 8 weeks as of yesterday. I'm trying to build my channel. I'm trying to get to my first 1,000 subscribers. I'm also trying to get at least my first 500 subscribers, first 1,000 likes. So if you can hit the like button, you can put me out there in the algorithm, let me circulate around, and hopefully get some new people to subscribe to my channel and to come on when I'm on, to sign on when I'm on. Thank y'all for the ones that are here now. I'm trying to wait for some of my A1 day ones to pop in here. It's going to take them a minute, as it usually does. I forgot to post it so that they would know. There we go. Hey, Gloria. How you doing? I'm sorry, I forgot to post it. I told y'all last night. I don't know if you was in the chat last night, but I couldn't see any comments last night. None. So I felt like I was talking to myself. So, so far I have 7 people steady watching. Can y'all, the other 2, go ahead and hit the like button to push me out there in the algorithm? I would greatly appreciate it. I agree with you, Bones Sparker. Oh, I know they crew. They say all kind of stuff. I've trust me, I've gotten it since I've been on here. I've gotten it, and I just ask people to respect my chat. And if they can't respect my chat, I can also block them, so they can watch from afar, or they can go bother somebody else. So yeah, hey Beverly, how you doing? So I have some good A1 day ones or whatever. Just I figure out how to get me some moderators over here. I don't know if it's too soon to get the moderators, but as soon as I get them, they're gonna be wiping them out. Hey Gracie, how you doing? Welcome over. As y'all coming in, can you go ahead and hit the like button before y'all forget? Because it's so easily to forget once you come over. That's good. I'm glad everybody, I hope everybody had a good day. That your day was going okay. Mine was okay. Coming into the day in the wee hours of the morning, it was kind of rocky. So let me do my introduction again since some more people are coming in. I am Classy Lady. I am new to, as far as a new YouTuber. I've been on it 8 weeks. And so I am trying to build my channel to the first 1,000 hours. I'm doing marks at a time, and my first 500 subscribers. That's where I'm trying to go. Hey Nick Hornberger. You calling me an old head or you an old head? Which one? Don't come over here and start calling names, honey. I see I got a lot of bots and thoughts over here that's popping in. That's not my regular people that I normally see. So keep it cool, keep it classy, and you'll be able to stay over. Go ahead and hit the like button while you calling somebody an old head. I like to know how old you are. Probably older than me. Yep, you're probably older than me. Are y'all having primaries in y'all states right now? Is it y'all primary election time? Just curious. If y'all still on here and you still engaging in the chat, can you drop what state that you live in, or if you're in the U.S.? It would be nice to know where some people are from. If you want to engage in the chat, I guess 3 of them didn't want to engage in the chat. Gloria, are you familiar with the early voting now? Did you get a chance to go out, or are you going out to do early vote, or are you going to wait till that day, or are you not going to vote at all? Just asking. Yeah, I know you here. That's why I was asking, were you early voting, or were you going to vote at all? Because this is the time that it's an important time for us, regardless of who you vote for. We need to vote this election, this primary, and then to take us on to the one November 3rd. They said we might have some runoff elections. I hope not. But they, when I was at the polls today, they said we probably were going to have some runoffs. It just depends on who the runoffs is against, or who's in the runoffs. If I go back and vote, if it's people that I'm not really familiar with, I won't worry about it. I'll just wait till November 3rd. But if it's some people in there that I rock with, or that I would like to see get a position, and they change chairs, then yeah, I'll go back for in about a couple of weeks for what they said. So we shall see. No, it's not over until usually it'll go through to the weekend, and then is it March 3rd? Usually like a Tuesday. I can't look it up. Um, it's usually you do the early voting because they only did it for this week, and then maybe next Tuesday is election, but it may not be next Tuesday. It may not be until March, the first week, the first Tuesday in March. That's normally when it is. But I know it started on the 17th. Started on the 17th, and I think it'll go through the weekend. And then if it's not next week, then it will be the week after, the first week in March for us. Yeah. Um, and it was a breeze today to to be able to early vote and stuff like that. I got that out of the way. I always try to early vote and get it out of the way. But yeah, this is the election that would determine if the parties, the seats are gonna flip in November. So it's very important, very very important. It don't matter who you're voting for. Um, but obviously, if you are voting opposite of what's in there now, then it's and tables turn, it's gonna flip some seats. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think it still will be going on the weekend. So hopefully you get a chance to. Hopefully you'll get a chance to. Are you able to share my live out? Or share it to the sister circle? I don't know where everybody's at. They know I come on every night at 9 o'clock. I try to wait till 9 to not take anybody else's time. But look like I'm gonna have to just come on and not be holding people up, because I know it's late for some people. Um, in some states it's late, some it's late, some it's early. So I don't know. I don't know where everybody is, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Again, if you're viewing my channel for the first time, right now you may want to skip to the first 12 minutes, because I'm getting ready to start, my commentary. My name is Classy Lady. I'm a new content creator / reaction channel. I've been on for 8 weeks now. I am trying to get to the first 500 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, would you please consider subscribing? I'm trying to get my first 1,000 watch hours. I do have over 100 lives and shorts posted on my page. If you get a chance, if you can view some of them, you can be in the shower, put me on, and just let me talk. If you like people talking to you while you go to sleep, put me on, let me rock you to sleep. But I'm not boring though. And yeah, just get me out there. I'd appreciate it. So my thing tonight was losing a parent, ungrateful parents, children, and siblings. There's a lot of things going on out there in the entertainment industry, where people are coming on YouTube and Facebook and airing out their family business, and that's not cool. And they're, like I say, they're in the entertainment business. Oh, my ashes are still on my head. They're in the entertainment business, two in particular, and I know y'all probably don't know them, but one of them is this young lady. She's a rapper. Her name is Glorilla, and she's up and coming artist. She's young, and she's an up and coming artist. Well, not say up and coming artist. She's already out there. So, and she's making music, and now she's making money and things of that nature. And all of a sudden, she has a sister that has come out and is trying to air out family business. Being, she feels that her sister owes her something um, feels like she owes her something, like money or something like that. And what she's doing is going on these different people platforms. And I'm pretty sure some of the stuff she's saying, some of it may be true, and some of it is fabricated. And it's always the left side, the right side, and then the middle of somebody telling the truth or something like that. So you just never know who's telling the truth. But I believe a little of both. But anyway, the sister, and she's earned the name Brorilla because she's a lesbian female, and she looks like a little boy, and she has a bunch of tattoos all over her face and everything like that. So she's getting on these platforms. You know, people are like throwing a little bone or dangling a little bone in front of her, a few $1,000s. That's not going to get her anywhere to air out her sister. And you know, social media, everybody got the ears open. Everybody want to hear what's going on or want to hear the dirt in your family, so they can take it and run with it and talk about it and discredit your name and drag you through the mud or whatever. And one particular thing, she was like, she's the older sister, but uh, apparently she must have some type of mental issues, or she's been in a psych ward or whatever. I don't know if she got a hold of some bad drugs. She's dealing with family issues. Um, they're a family of, I think, 7, no, 10. I think it's a family of 10. And she said they grew up poor, and they, you know, at a disadvantage they didn't have or whatever. But that's not your sister's problem. That's your parents' problem for continuing to have children, and they were already struggling. I'm sorry. It's a blessing for everybody to be here or whatever. But if your parents is start having babies and they just can't get away from each other like rats or rabbits, and they produce 10 children, and out of the 10 children you may have 2 or 3 maybe successful, maybe not. So in this case, Glorilla is one of is the successful one that I know of. I mean, she may have other brothers and sisters that may be attorneys or may have decent jobs and making their own way. But this big sister, which everybody calls her Brorilla, she gets out of here and want to discredit her sister's name, and thinks her sister should take care of her parents better than what they're doing. Well, you don't really know what she's doing, because for one, you said your mom works at FedEx and your dad works at the post office. So again, for them to create 10 children before, now they're probably in a better position than when y'all were little kids. They probably was young and just couldn't stay away from each other and had these 10 kids. So that's their responsibility to have all these kids. And you saying that y'all had to sleep on the floor and rats and roaches and things. Again, that's not her fault. That's your parents' fault. That anger should be toward them. Hey, Unit 5, how you doing? Welcome over. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you find my content worth listening to. So it's not your sister's fault that she's made it or making it in the world. And that's the problem with a lot of entertainers. They want everybody got their hand out and everybody feel that you should take care of them. Well, that's how the next entertainer that I'm gonna talk about next went broke. So she told some stories like, yeah, she used to pee in the bed and would pee on me, and then I would get a whipping for it, or I would get blamed for it and got a whipping for it. I'm thinking that the sister, the older sister, the Brorilla, was a problem child. From her saying that, you know, I think she done ran away sometimes, and she done been in the psych ward, and she done ran away from that stuff. I think that sister is a problem child, and probably was a problem child when she was growing up. So yeah, a lot of stuff probably was blamed on her, or she was the cause of it. So she's airing out stuff like that, and it's like, well, you know, everybody's like, well, Peeing in the bed, that's not anything new or whatever. Um, and so she's going on these social media platforms talking about her sister, bashing her sister in. And so one social media platform she went on gave her like $5,000 to come on and do an interview with her or whatever. I'm sorry, not 5,000. Gave her $4,000 allegedly. Well, it's not alleged because that's what she said and that's what was posted. And she gets on social media flexing and trying to show off about what she had, and she's holding up that she paid a necklace for $3,200. What sense does that make? They gave you 4,000, then you turn around and you want to flex with everybody else and show off, and you show off a $3,200 chain that you just bought. That goes to show you your mental ain't there. You still you're out there on the street. You think you're a boy. You look like a little boy, and you allegedly you're probably in the dope, gambling, all kind of illegal stuff. You're probably into all of that because you even using the lingo and the lingo of somebody out there on the street, and so you expect your sister to take care of you or to give you money or whatever. And the question was posed to her, okay, say your sister has $2 million. Out of the $2 million, this is alleged, how much do you expect your sister to give you out of the $2 million? What you think would be a fair cut? She said $2,500. Now, right there lets you know that she not working with a full deck. Her elevator don't go up to the 5th floor. She not working with a full deck. Your sister got $2 million, and are you, if she was to give you something, and she asks you how much you want, you gonna say, oh, $2,500? No, my sister got $2 million. I'm gonna say, shoot, hook me up, pay my house off, pay my car off. Put me a couple of thousands in the bank to set me up where I can be able to, go do a little bit more than what I'm doing. But $2,500, girl, you need to stop going on these platforms and talking like somebody with a paper behind and you don't know what you're talking about. You just saying anything. You need to stop going on these platforms because what you're doing is this money that they giving you, you going through it like a little child buying $3,200 change when you just made $4,000. And I'm pretty sure you have rent. If you got a piece of car, you gotta, have some kind of insurance. You gotta your cell phone, all the stuff that you need to take care of. And a chain should have been the last thing that you should have paid, went out there and got. You should have got something else. That's crazy. That just shows your mentality. So what she need to do is stop dragging her sister name through the mud, because that's not gonna make her give you any money. Not gonna make you give you any more money. If your parents need some money, that's their responsibility. That's on them to ask her if they need some help. But according to you, your mom is working, your daddy is working, and your daddy is tricking off his money with tricks and woes and stuff like that. If that's what he want to do with his money, that's what he do with his money. So if your sister choose not to pour into him, and she knows what he doing with his money, and just being reckless, why should she keep throwing? That's like throwing her money in the trash can. That's just like taking your money, a water money, just putting it in the trash can. If that's what he want to do with his money, that's what he need to do. Hey, Laverne, how you doing? Welcome in. Yeah, that's what he need to do. That's crazy. Like I said, if they need some money, let them handle that and go to them and go to her and say that they need some money. That's not your business. Or I don't see no other siblings of hers out here on the internet dragging their family business through the mud but you. You figure that that's a way to get you some money. No, because when you do me like that, that makes me resist. I'm like a rubber band. The more you pull this way and I'm pulling that way, all we doing is stretching the rubber band. And one of us gonna give up and the rubber band gonna pop. But 9 times out of 10, you ain't got that kind of money where you can match up with your sister. So why don't you just chill and leave her alone? Let her make her money, and she may break you off something. She might. So enough for her, because a lot of people don't know about Glorilla, but some of y'all do look her up. Glorilla. Glorilla. And they call, if you want to look her sister up, she called Brorilla. People are calling her Brorilla. Hey, BB. Welcome in. Thank you for coming over. The other person, entertainer, that I want to talk about is Fantasia. Fantasia this last weekend was in Houston, and she gave a good performance, as usual. And then at some point during the show, her husband Kendall came out to the stage. He had a bunch of roses. I don't know, but it probably was about 2 dozen roses. And he came out on stage and he had 2 dozen roses and he gave it to her, and he was making a speech to her about their relationship and things of that nature. And they got married after 3 weeks of just talking on the phone and going out or whatever they was doing. Now, just finding out a little bit more about him, he had already had his businesses, a couple of businesses and stuff ahead of time. Hey, Sheila, how you doing? He had already had some businesses and stuff, and was already had his little stuff going on. And then he met Fantasia. Well, I remember when they did Taylor Talk. I don't know if any of y'all remember that, where him and her would get on. They were in a part of their house, and they would do Taylor Talk, and people were free to ask them questions. It could have been relationship questions. It could have been, it could have been things about them personally or whatever. And then what it was is her hairstylist. He was the master of ceremony, and he would get look at the text messages and pick out questions that was in there, and they would ask. He would ask them the question from a viewer and stuff, and they would take turns to answer the question and expound on the answer. So they had that going on, and then they had some other businesses and stuff going on. And as some of you may know, Fantasia went broke twice. She won American Idol, but she ended up going broke twice. Broke after trying to take care of her family. You know, everybody got their hand out. Her heart was of gold, so she giving, with her little baby boy, she giving whoever, whatever, they coming at her. She had a brother. I know one of them was, I don't know if that was the one that took her to American Idol or if it was the other one. But he had his little stuff. He had music, called himself doing music and stuff. And that, to my knowledge, that flopped. That didn't go anywhere. And even though she was, in the entertainment business or whatever, she couldn't pull him up by the bootstraps, because when you're looking at producers and people of that nature, and people looking for new music and new artists, evidently when they viewed his music, they felt it was trash. So, they wouldn't sign him on or whatever. And you can't make people sign you on. These people have been in the entertainment business for years and years and years. Some of them are given gifted talents where they can spot out a good artist. Some of them are able to write music, come up with music. Some work with the beats and stuff. These people are talented. So they're talented in their craft, just like a nurse or a doctor goes further off in their care as far as patient care. The more they're into it and do it, then the better they get with the experience. So you can't blame her or get mad at her because your music career didn't take off. Because from what I heard, the music that I heard that he was doing, I wouldn't buy that either. It was trash. So me, just an ordinary person, Joe Jane, listening to it, and he and somebody that has experience in it, if I didn't like it, then I'm pretty sure they didn't like it. So from there, she went broke trying to take care, help take care of the family and stuff. And then, she had gotten in some trouble with, fool with a married man. And I think it may have been a setup, but we don't know. But anyway, and then she almost, tried to take her life and stuff like that. So she met Kendall, and they together, and they have built businesses together. He has his separate businesses, and then they have stuff together, and she still has her music career, whatever. And when they got married, they didn't have a prenup. Still don't know if they have a prenup. He wanted to have a prenup to protect her, and also he has the businesses that he's in. He has partners, so he wanted to do a prenup also to protect his businesses that he had before her, and also the partnerships that he's in with these other people, so that she couldn't, if it got messy, she couldn't cross over the bridge to his stuff. And then what she had before him, he couldn't cross over the bridge to her stuff. Whatever they got after they got married, then that's what you divide or whatever. So hey, BCU, I don't think anything was stolen from the money. They got rid of somebody that accused him of stealing, and they were actually stealing. The saga still goes on. But what the problem come in is, why are people player hating and hating on this man getting on this platform, getting on one knee, reprofessing his love to his wife? Maybe it's the words he said, it don't matter. But in front of all these people, and people live streaming and everything else, getting on one knee, and he told her that it was time to upgrade her ring. He wanted to give her a ring for a ring with carats for every year that they were married. And right now they're married 11 years. They're going on 12, so he gave her an 11 carat ring. Now, people want to say, oh, she paid for it or whatever. This man have his own stuff going on. This man is into prison ministries, and they have all kind of stuff going on with his other partners and businesses and things of that nature. Then they have businesses and stuff together. He spoke about how much money they had, but the house was more than the money they had in the bank. They had a bunch of bills. They had to borrow money from people in order to stay afloat, and things of that nature. And she asked him to go through the books to see what was going on. And he went through the books, and it was, her taking care of this one, her taking care of that one, money going here, money going there, stuff was unaccounted for. Now, he said that he was not experienced in that, but with wisdom and common sense, because if you looking on a payroll and you seeing everybody in the family on payroll and getting X amount of money every month, then it's not hard to figure out that you're taking care of your family. And where these people can, they're able-bodied people can get up and go get them a job. Now, it's different for your mom and your dad, or if you got grandparents, you want to shoot your grandparents a little money or whatever. But still, they get a check a month, and whatever you give to them should be extra, where they can do some extra things. So all that, everybody got their hand out. Well, really, they mad. I think they mad because he came in there and he set the record straight and cut a lot of that stuff off. So he upgraded her ring, and he told her, you don't need this little thing no more. And probably what he could afford at the time. And at the time, while they building their businesses up, he didn't feel the need to upgrade her ring, and she probably didn't feel the need to ask for an upgrade. Long as the family was doing good, they out of pretty much out of debt. Everything is running smoothly. They have businesses together as husband and wife, so they're doing okay. They're doing better. Um, so now all of a sudden, the dad sees a video clip of her and her husband getting down uh, and propose, re-giving her ring, and she was very emotional. He got emotional and stuff, and the dad don't think it's real. He thinking it's all fake and it's all made up. I don't think, because I was at the concert, and the man wasn't fake crying. The man was snot crying because he got very emotional about the more he talked and was passionate about her and talking about her, about their family and things of that nature and what they build and what they, how they've grown to love each other and they love each other and they got married after 3 weeks and all of that. I don't see that grown man up there snotting and crying and getting on one knee and just putting on. No, because when he came out there, he was talking perfectly fine. And they hugged and kissed for the longest. You could tell that it was love. Yeah, it was on Valentine's Day. It was love shown to her. So now you got daddy coming on there saying that somebody called and told him that he was stealing money from them. And he just talking bad. Now you're a man of the cloth. You've been a man of the cloth for a long time. And I'm like Kendall. It's a better way to approach the situation. And instead of you coming out on social media, on your YouTube page, you done made you a page. So I'm pretty sure now, I don't know how long you've had your page, but I'm pretty sure since you were speaking of your daughter, you already got your 1,000 subscribers real quick, and you got your 4,000 watch hours probably overnight, because everybody want to hear you talking about what you was talking about. And you want to down this man. I think you should have called the man and y'all should have talked man to man. But somebody told you, and you heard that he was stealing money. And you don't want her to go out like some of these other women, other entertainers, by, like you said, their husband took advantage of them. And I understand that because it happens a lot. But you didn't go about it the right way. And maybe because they didn't have social media like they have it now, that certain situations and things were not exposed. But when Mary J. Blige went through what she went through, social media was out. And yeah, sometimes we are blindsided and we're blind and we're so in love as women that we don't see things coming and this, that, and the other. But that shoe fits on both sides, because there are men out here that the women get away with stuff or whatever. Take and people take a lot off of people. And I just don't think that was the right way for you to do something. You should call your daughter and talk to her. You haven't been just the great father since she's been where she is. Yeah, no, you don't. But you got to have yes and no. That could go both ways, because when you marry, you become one. Now, you don't have to be the stupid one, or that other person, your partner don't have to be the stupid one, but when you marry, you are supposed to come together. Your finances and things of that nature is supposed to be come in one pot. Now, there's always a better money manager in a relationship. There's always one person that can manage the money of the household better than the other one. I'll put my personal. Uh, yes, me and my husband, we had joint accounts. We had a joint checking account, which that was bill money and sometimes leftover money to do recreational things, um, have fun with some money in there. And we also had a joint savings account. And that was to save for emergencies or household or whatever. That joint savings account, he nor I was supposed to touch any money out of that account unless we talked to one another. And it was supposed to be a mutual agreement. And it did go that way for a long time until the relationship started getting rocky. But while we were married, we either one of us touched that joint account. Now, he had a separate checking, he had a separate savings account. And his before his check was direct deposited into the joint account, he allowed it money to go in his savings and in his checking. I didn't question him. I didn't even ask him what do you do with your checking, with your money that's in your checking account, or what do you do with your money in your savings account. I didn't ask him that. That was his money. But the majority of his money came to the joint account to take care of bills. And also out of that joint account, we each got an allowance for the week. We got an allowance for the week or the month. As far as, you do what you want with it. But once you run out of that, don't come back to the pot. I had my joint savings and checking account. Matter of fact, I had more than, I think I had 3. Yeah, that was my money. And then money went to the joint account, and that paid bills and whatever else needed to be done around the house. And that savings stayed where it was. So I'm not going to say we shouldn't have access to that. That's how we put our money. And I learned that from my parents. Now, I didn't stay married as long as they did, but my parents stayed married 56 years. And they with joint accounts and things of that nature. My daddy was a bad money manager. Many a time, if he was the one to manage the money and pay the bills, it was going to be all over the place. My mama was the better money manager. Bills were not late. We didn't get late notices and termination notices. That's money wasted. And that goes for anybody, whether you're married or single. If you sitting up there and you letting bills pile up and you could pay them, but you want to wait till you get a red notice, that's how my husband was. He told me, oh, I wait till I get a pink slip, a pink notice or a red notice in the mail, then I figure I better pay it. No, partner, we're not going to do that over here. Since you manage money bad, I'm going to be the manager of the money. You don't pay bills on time. I pay on time. So what I did, I got a tablet. And I still do it today. I write every bill that comes in as far as the house. Now, if you got a cell phone, you got a credit card or whatever, that's your bills. That's not coming out of here. Whatever you have extra, I'm talking about mortgage, lights, gas, water, alarm, things to run the house, insurance, but not all that extra stuff. Your credit card and stuff is your business. My credit cards was my business. All right. I have a tablet, and I still do it today. I write every bill that needs to be paid, and I write the dates in chronological order. Now, those bills are not late. I feel paying a bill late, especially where there's a late fee and it tells you what you have to pay, that's money wasted. A lot of people pay their bills on the computer. Okay, well, I don't have a computer, but I pay mine by phone. And something else that my bank has is that I can set up each company that I have to pay, especially utilities, as long as you have the correct address and things of that nature. I can go in my checking account and hit pay, go to the list, and go down and pay each one of my bills. They not late. I don't have to pay a late fee on that. If I can go on, if call on the phone is one that I can pay by the computer, but they never seem to um, want to get my payment on time. So to keep me from having to pay a late fee or whatever, I get on the phone and I call through the automated system because it's free. A lot of companies now, or if you are talking to a person to pay your bill, they charge you, and they charge you a good bit of money. And even if it's $3 or $4, you just think if you talk to 3 or 4 people paying $3 or $4, look how much money you then wasted. As opposed to going online or going through the automated system, or see if the account that you have, you can go through that account and pay it like that. That's money wasted. That's money you could be doing something else with. So that's how I handle things. And my mom did the same thing. Write it down. Now, if my husband and I had the checkbook. Now, when it was time to pay bills or whatever, guess what I did? Once the bills were paid and everything balanced out, I took the checkbook, I took the tablet, turned it to that month's bill, put it on the bar. Put it on the bar so when he come in or whenever he want to sit down and look at it, he can sit down, look at the money that came in the account, look at the bills and the bills wrote down and the money, and it added up. And then he saw, oh, it's some extra money in here. This is even after we each got our allowance. We got some extra money in the checking account. We got a little cushion. The money that needed to go in the savings, it was over there. So it was no question about where money was gone. Again, he had his own checking and own savings account. I didn't question him about what he did with his money. And he couldn't question me about what I do with my money. Because I'm not asking you for nothing and I'm not taking out the joint account. So I'm not going to say that doesn't work. Hey, Marilyn. I think I said hi. But everybody household and situation is different. So this man has companies. He does prison ministries and things of that nature. And Fantasia is the one that put up a picture of her dad, a mugshot or whatever. So they've been going back and forth through things. And just say that her and the dad are estranged and they don't get along. And so he said some things or whatever that tested her husband's, hey, kiss by the ring, how you doing? That tested her husband's manhood. And like her husband said, that this is not something I do. When I post stuff or get on here, it's about business. It's not about mess. And you, sir, you could have picked up the phone and called me. On the beginning, they were all cordial, even the brothers and things of that nature. And like he told him, he said, I've always treated your sons like they were my brothers. He said, despite of what the chitter chatter in the back and the talking behind my back and all of that, I always treated them cordial and as brothers. I never treated them any other way. But now, so that makes me think that it's kind of like a money grab. You listening to some hearsay stuff, you should have went to your daughter and talked to her about what you heard, or you should have went to both of them and talked to them about what you heard. But no, you come out on the internet and you put it out on the internet. And like Kendall said, you asked your daughter for $3,500 once upon a time. she was not going to give it to you because of the past, her helping the family and giving the family, and her going broke twice, just being all willy-nilly with her money and giving money, and then she don't have it. And he said she was not going to give it to you. I'm the one told her that she needed to give it to you. And that's usually how stuff is. That's how normally stuff is. And he probably thinking that Kendall didn't want her to give him the money. But no, she didn't want to give it to him. She was not going to give it to him. But he said, I go ahead and, go ahead. Yeah, I think you should just go ahead and give it to him. For, he asking you for it, just go ahead and give it to him. At that time, they was in a better part of their life, and they were doing much better. So he could see that, to go ahead and give him that money. But for you to come on here and bash your daughter without sitting down and have a conversation with her about what you heard, and you believe this person that called you and told you that, well, okay, well, where did that person get it from? Gossip starts, gossip don't take long to start to spark up. And it's a game that we play that I tell you, it could be 15 people in a row, and we're going to play this game. I start the game off. I say red, black, and white. The next person may get it right and say red, black, and white. The next person may say white, black, and red. Now the next person may say red, black, white, and green. Then next, red, black, white, and green, yellow. That wasn't what I said. I started out with red, black, and white. Now, by the time it get all the way around to the 15th person, the 15th person say every color of the rainbow. They just say that the word or phrase was every color of the rainbow. They didn't got it wrong because somebody didn't transmit the information right. So how many tongues was put out there to say that he was stealing money? How many people said that? This phone call that you get, yeah, that may be a credible person to you, but where did that person get that from? So you don't know how many people had transmitted this information before it got back to you. So if it got back to you and you got your daughter's best interest, then you need to pick up the phone and call your daughter. Now, I'm not a entertainer, and I don't have the money she have, but I do know that my family, if they hear anything out here about me, they're not going to get on social media, Facebook or YouTube or any one of these other platforms and put my business out there. They're going to call me. They're going to pull me to the court and say, look, this is going on. I've heard this rumor about you, whatever. What's going on? And give me an opportunity to either know about the rumor that's going on, or this is the first time I've heard about this rumor. But give me an opportunity to say something before you go on a platform and you put out some a false narrative or a lie, or you don't even know if it's the truth or not. You go ahead and put that out there. Now it's a big old mess on YouTube, Facebook, social media. And you don't even know the person where you got this from. And you are, I know, I'm guaranteed that the person that told me is credible. You don't know that. You don't know that to be true. One of the people is mad because they got fired because they found out that they were stealing money. Or that money, or it wasn't coming up right. So now they go out there and tell you that Kendall did it. Well, Kendall got on here and pretty much clear himself and say about his businesses and what he got going on and things of that nature. He had already wrote a couple of books when they was doing Table Talk. When I was watching them a couple of years ago about Table Talk, he was already into the thing of writing books and stuff. So he had stuff going on. It wasn't all Fantasia. And let him tell it during the Table Talk. And she also agreed to it. He didn't even know who Fantasia was when they met. He didn't know nothing about a Fantasia. And she co-signed for that and say, no, he didn't know who I was. When they met and they went out on a couple of dates, they just meshed. They just came together. And then after a while, she told him who she was. He was like, he had no idea. So the daddy is mad and saying, well, he's done most stuff worse than me because Fantasia put his mugshot up there. It's not a secret. Kendall served time in the penitentiary. That's not a secret. Anybody that knows their backstory knows that Kendall, her husband, spent, I think, 7 to 10 years in the penitentiary. He was much younger. He was young then. It still don't matter. He still served the time. But she knew because they talked about that way back in, like they say, in the Gap. They talked about that way back then. So she knew he was at the penitentiary, but he had already started making his way. And to him, he didn't plan on going back. He didn't plan on going back. So the dad is, to me, and that's just my opinion, I think he wants some money. I think he wants some money. I think he needs some money. I think he may be at the age, he may be tired of driving them trucks. Yeah, he drives trucks to make his own way and his own living and stuff. But I think he wants some money. I really think it's a money thing. And now the bank vault is closed. All that giving money here, giving money there, helping this one, helping that one. No, because now they're building businesses together, and so that's part of his money. And no, are you not y'all? We're not supposed to take care of y'all. Able-bodied people, and y'all can work. Now, what we give y'all should be extra. Yeah, that should be extra. And he also told him, our daughter is 5 years old. You have never met your granddaughter. 5 years old. You've never met her. He has kids and things of that nature. You don't even come around. You were not put out. You were not told that you can't come around. So that shows your character. Why you haven't came around? Why you ain't made a birthday party, Grandpa? Why you ain't made a Christmas, Grandpa? A Thanksgiving dinner, Christmas dinner brought by a baby doll for that baby. You ain't purchased a baby doll. You ain't gave her ice cream. You ain't bought her ice cream cone. That little girl don't know who you are. You a stranger to her. So that shows your character. So that's why, people saying, oh, I believe the daddy, I believe the daddy. Well, maybe the daddy may be telling something, maybe a little something, maybe a little truth in what he's saying. As far as that he don't want to see his daughter like some of the other female entertainers that the husband and stuff took their money. Yeah, that may be true, but you don't know what their circumstances was either. You don't know what their circumstances. But for you, and he brought this out that you don't know your own grandchild, and she's over 5 years old, and your grandson and granddaughter, all those they didn't grew up and they haven't seen you in years and stuff like that. That shows your character as a grandfather. That shows your character. So while you all on this internet going on different people's vlogs and stuff and talking about your daughter and trying to badmouth her husband and things of that nature, you need to check yourself as well. Hey, Melissa Bean, how you doing? I can't tell you, Melissa Bean, that wasn't coming from a scripture. That was coming from common sense and everyday living. And me personally, I don't think How can I say that? It's a lot of things as far as the Bible and scriptures that we should be doing and we should be following. And people don't follow it. So I would say do what works for you and for your household. Whatever you've been doing for the past 25 years, if that's been working, then let it work. But like I say, my parents was married 56 years. My mama kept the books. My dad drove trucks. When it was time for his check to come in, he on the phone giving my mama the numbers that's supposed to go to the check, and she could go to the bank and do what need to be done with that money. And when my dad came home, he knew where his money went. As a matter of fact, bought a second home because that's what he wanted to do. He wanted a new house. He wanted to put my mom in a new house. So he knew where his money went. All these horror stories about truck drivers stealing, they come home and their money not there. That wasn't the case for my dad. My mom wasn't a thief. My mom made her money. My mom made 6 figures. So with his 6 figures and her 6 figures, they matched. But before that, and my dad is always taking care of my mom. My mama didn't know what it meant to pay a car note. She didn't know what it meant to pay a car note, but she always drove a new car. When they got to the point where they were making their way and they were making their money. So if it's been working for you for the last 25 years, then you may want to keep that out of your relationship, because there's a lot of things that's in the Bible that people are not going by. And like I say, no, I can't tell you what scripture. You probably have to Google or look it up or ask somebody that knows the Bible back and forth. I'm not one that knows the Bible back and forth, but I know God. I do know that, and I know what he's done for me and how he has been there for me. So I could testify on my own personal things. But like I said, even my husband, before we even got married, we opened up a joint account, and his check was going in there before we even said I do. Because he knew I was a good woman, and he knew I wasn't steal the money, and he knew the track record I had from meeting my parents and seeing what my parents had. So I had free reign over the checkbook before we even said I do. I was just a better money manager, and he knew it. And so he handed that. He didn't have a problem with letting me handle the books. But I made sure he knew where the money went. The tablet was there, the bills were paid, and the checkbook was there. It was there. So, hey, he had his own accounts, I had mine. And we both knew this. But we knew the pact was not to touch the joint checking or the joint savings unless we talked to each other and let each other know about what was going on. Yeah. So when, but anyway, the other thing that I want to talk about, which is I started not to even come on today. I started not to even come on today. Today is the day that my mom passed. And that's a tough thing. I really started not to come on today. I was trying to keep myself out of going into a depression, trying to keep myself from thinking about it. But God, the good Lord, because normally in the past years, like the week before or 2 weeks before, I get in this funk. I get in this mood. And I know what the funk and the mood is. It's because it's coming up on the day that my mom passed. the day of her birthday, and Mother's Day. That heavy jacket gets put on my back. It gets put on my back and it's be weighing me down. And I cry and I cry and I pray about it. Lord, this gotta I wish there was a phone in heaven. And I believe my mom is in heaven. God knows I done said enough prayers. And I say, Lord, I'm trying to, if my mama is at the gates and trying to get in, I'm praying for my mom. You let my mom in. I specifically pray to make sure that my mom goes to heaven. I do. My mom was a good person. She wasn't a worldly person. She was a loving person. She gave to people. She didn't have a problem with Christmas taking care of her family. Somebody in the hospital, making sure that they had, she was a good person. And everybody could say that about their mom, but I'm not going to say everybody could say that. But I know deep down in my heart I could say that. But normally it's a big weight. And I'm in such a bad mood. I get in a depressed mood because I would think about my mom all the time. My mom was my mom. She was a good mom. She made sure we had. And she didn't spare the rod. She tear that behind up if you got out of line. She didn't have a problem with doing that. But still, with her doing that, I always know my mom to be a provider and a helpmate. And encouraged us, showed us love, not just by buying material things, because we had pretty much what we want. I grew up in a 2-parent home. I don't know how it is to struggle. I didn't come from a struggling family. So when people say that, I'm humbled and I'm grateful and I'm thankful that my parents never let us see that. They worked hard. So the stories people have, I didn't struggle. My parents, I'm not going to say they struggled, but my dad picked cotton. My dad picked cotton. He don't like the ripped jeans today. He don't like nothing of that era with the ripped jeans, the ripped shorts, the ripped shirt, the rips in the tennis shoes. Don't show him nothing ripped. Because as a boy growing up, picking cotton, they got holes in their jeans and stuff like that. They had to wear them. They couldn't go buy a new pair of jeans or pants because they got a rip or tear in them. No, they mama and them had to mend them up and patch them up, and they had to wear them. So, listening to my dad tell stories like that, and he's a great historian, and him making sure that we never went without. And he made sure that my mom had the best of care. He took care of my mom on her last, say like the last year when she kind of went down. My dad was there. He pretty much gave up his life. He didn't go to church anymore. He didn't do anything. But if I was there to back him up, then yeah, he would go. And I would go and say, Dad, you need to get out the house. You like to go to the grocery store. You like to go and look at these men's stores. Go to the store and just get out the house. Free your mind, clear your mind. Because he was a caregiver. When my mom went to rehab, and the rehabs that she was in, she could have an overnight guest. And guess what? My mom was spoiled. We spoiled my mama. I loved my mama. She was spoiled. When she was sick, she was spoiled. My dad stayed at night because my dad is the kind of person, when my mom would go out of town, he said he couldn't sleep in the bed because my mom wasn't there. He slept on the sofa. She had to always call him and get him off the sofa because he would sleep on the chair or the sofa, fall asleep. She would have to call him before she got ill to come to bed. Get in the bed and get you some rest. Get you some rest. And that has always been a thing. When we would go out of town, when my mom, dad, and mom was sick and we would have to get on that road to Louisiana, my dad wouldn't sleep in the bed. He'd sleep on the chair. He said because my mama wasn't there. So when she went into rehabs and stuff after illness and things of that nature, he said it wasn't no use him going home. He wasn't going to sleep in the bed no way. He might as well sleep there with my mama. And he slept at night at rehab with my mama. I was tag team during the day. I think I've said this before. I was his tag team during the day. And my brother and sister-in-law, when we needed a break, hey, y'all it's y'all weekend. Y'all got to put it. And my daddy would go home and do it, but he would call all day long and check on my mama and talk to her all day long. When I was there during the day, I say, look, don't you call back here. I say, you just left. I said to push you out of here to go try to get you some rest, lay in your bed and get you some good hours of rest and do what you need to do, and then you come back at night. And sometimes he would get to sleep and he'd be sleeping good, and then I would have to call him. I hated to do it. I'd have to call him. I'd wait till like about 11 or 12 o'clock at night, and I'd call, Dad, you gonna come back? Oh, I'll be there in a few minutes. I didn't went to sleep and I'd have got some good. I say, well, I'm glad you rested good. But my mama would be looking for him too. Call your daddy. Mama, why I'm here? I said, call your daddy. She was looking for her husband. She was looking for her husband. He'd come on back at night. Again, tag team during the daytime. So my mama was spoiled. We didn't let her, she didn't stay by herself. One time she stayed by herself. It was during that sea. And they really wouldn't let nobody stay. And I couldn't go because my dad and them had to talk to her through the window. Because they wasn't letting nobody in. And I say, what? And she in the room by herself? I said, oh no. But God did fix it. Where she ended up getting sick and they had to take her to the hospital. They got her out of that rehab. No, not in the room by herself. That was heartbreaking. So, for those of y'all that mom is still living, and dads, and brothers and sisters, y'all need to make it right. We don't know how much time we have here. We don't. And it cuts different. My dad is still here. But it cuts different. It cuts you so deep when your mom passed. When your mom not here, Lord have mercy. It's almost like you want to just give up. You just want to give up. You want to give up. And like I said before, my mama I don't think she wanted us to know. So she passed in her sleep. My daddy usually would get up and check on my mom like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's his time to get up and check on her. And but he woke up around one or two, and she pretty much was gone. He called 911 and they said to get her on the floor. And at that time, she was in a hospital bed. And she was in the bedroom. And they said, you need to lay her flat. And I don't know, it was something in the front where he couldn't really just lay her there flat. And even though my mom was sick, she wasn't a small lady. My mom picked my mama up like she was a baby. He picked her up out that bed and carried her in the next room, which was the den, to be able to put her down flat and to be able to give her CPR. When we got that call, my dad was crying like a baby. He said she gone. And my heart dropped. And he told me to call my brother. I said, we got to get over to Mom and them house. And I don't know what happened. No, and I think the neighbor called him too. And we needed to get over there. And my brother came pick me up. And when I was letting the garage door down, he say, just tell me, is she gone? And I said, yeah, but and I hurried up and changed, and I said, we need to get over there. And like that was the ride. And my parents don't stay but 7 miles from me. Lord, that was the longest ride. And I thought when we turned the corner, it was the ambulance, and they was gonna still be there. Y'all, we turned that corner, wasn't nobody there. In my heart, I said, well, maybe they took her to the hospital. The lights, all downstairs, the lights was on. And there was a policeman there. Whew. My mom was laying there covered up. Lord have mercy. My brother pulled the cover back. And just to see our mom laying there. That was the worst feeling. And she looked like she had a teardrop. Where the tear had dried up on her eye. And my brother went in the room and he got a wet towel. And he wiped my mama's face off. He just wiped her face and kept rubbing her face. Lord, that, like I said, if y'all have a mama, if your mama's still living, your daddy's still living, if your grandparents raised you, y'all make it right. Y'all make it right. Because you... So we had to call somebody to come pick her up. My sister-in-law knew a friend that worked at one of the nicer funeral homes. She didn't go to one of the ones that everybody would go to. She went to a nicer funeral home. And my cousin and her dad and them, they pick up bodies. But the funeral home and stuff that I think they use, we didn't want to be bothered with that. Because they was like, well, we could pick up now. We don't want to go on over there. So, the place we called, there are 2 people that came There were two Hispanics that came. They were professional dressed. I guess they were on call. So they came, and the policeman, he was blocking the view. He stood up there and he put his hand on the wall so that we couldn't see them putting her in the bag. And I said, and he said, no, you don't want to see, because even at his back turn, he said, no, you don't want to see, let them do their business. I said, yeah, I do want to see, let me see what they doing. Because he couldn't stop me. He couldn't stop me because I went around him and I said, I need to see what they doing. And even if he would have tried to block me there was a way through the kitchen that I could have went that way and went around. And he definitely didn't want my dad. He made my dad sit in the living room. They have a former living room, former dining. He made him sit in there, and my mom was in the den. So they came, and when they was bringing her out, I just touched the bag, but I had already, touched my mom and stuff like that. My parents were good in their street. They were called the grandparents of their street. And they had been there a long time, in the new build or whatever. And they lived in a cul-de-sac. And the neighbor across the street, we always call her the newspaper because she pretty much know what goes on. And, but my dad knew everybody in the cul-de-sac. My dad knows everybody on that street. Because my dad is just that friendly. He gets out and he, and they say, well, where's your wife? And he had to tell them that she done got no sick, that she don't come out or whatever. But everybody, even when it's been new people moved in, he knows everybody. That night, that morning, when they took my mama out, every neighbor was outside like they were doing a send-off. Every neighbor that lived in that cul-de-sac in that street was standing outside when they drove my mama off. You people on here that's not getting along with your mama, your daddies, y'all wishing death on people, y'all speaking death over people, y'all talking about people deceased loved ones, y'all better stop it. Y'all better stop it. Because y'all have children out here. Y'all have people that y'all love as well. And you want to ragtag and drag people, relatives and stuff through the dirt that have passed on. And you want to talk about them and all of that. Y'all better stop it. A word to the wise. Because if it goes according to plan in the Bible, that really the children will bury their parents. And it's things where parents have to bury their children. And that's not a good thing either. But y'all, whether you're burying a parent or you burying a child, everybody gonna get a chance to sit on that front row. And baby, it ain't pretty sitting on that front row. Everybody gonna have to sit on that front row if you burying a parent or a child. And you gonna remember in your mind all this venom you spewing out here for a few nickels and dimes or whatever, talking about people deceased loved ones, talking about people that's sick and all of that. You gonna watch your people. You're going to watch your people. You're going to watch your people. You're going to watch them. You're going to watch them. Keep dragging people and thinking it's funny to talk about people, illnesses, and people that's sick. And then talk about people, deceased loved ones. You go sit on that front row. And when you sit on that front row, and when they lower that thing down, that casket down, with your people in there, some of y'all going to be trying to get in there. Some of y'all going to be trying to get in there. Now, some graveyards wait till the family leave and don't lower them down until the family leaves. Some will lower them down with you standing there. Now, I don't know where you live and how they do it. Everybody has a difference. But you make it fun and mockery and all of that, baby, you going to sit on that front row. Hey, hey, Caribou, how you doing? You going to sit on that front row. You going to sit on that front row. And to have to dress your parent, pick out clothes, and of course, you're gonna put a wig on them. Or if they still got all their hair and got long hair, you will probably, do that. But 9 times out of 10, you'll slap a wig on them. You got to pick out a dress or a suit, underwear, stockings, all of that, shoes. But I promise you, my mama looked just like she looked when she go to church or when she went to any other church function. I laid my mama out. I laid her out. When people came to the viewing, they stood there. And I knew they would. Because that's how we work. That's the kind of people we are. That's the way we carry ourselves. That's why my name is Classy Lady. That's why. They stared my mama down. Because they couldn't believe that we send her off the way we send her off. Just like she was dressing her own self, going to church or going to a function. And that's what they walked away with. Boy, your mama looked like herself. Your mama looked like herself. Boy, y'all laid your mama out. Y'all laid her out. And my mama was in the business where they wore diamond rings and stuff. And I didn't have those on her. I put some costume jewelry on her. And this one man knew about the diamonds and stuff like that. He say, y'all better take them rings off your mama finger. You know the people gonna go in there and steal your mama jewelry. I just laughed. I smiled at him. I said, yeah. And I just smiled at him and laughed. Because he thought that we were burying her with her diamonds. No, we buried her with some costume jewelry that looked good. She blinged. She blinged. Yeah. She wore a hat to church. She wore a hat going on. She wore a nice purse with the little handkerchiefs that she had that on. I made sure every T was crossed, every I was dotted. And the way we carried ourselves and a picture that we gave them, we buried her in gold and white. Gold and ivory, I'm sorry. Lipstick was gold. Fingernails were gold. Corsage golden and ivory. She was to the T. I promise you that. I didn't want to do it, but my mom was so pretty. I had to take a picture. I had to take pictures of her. I had to take pictures of her. She was so pretty. That the director had her like she would be. And I was like, Mom, you would be proud. But today was the day that my mom passed. And like I said, I wasn't going to come on here, but I say, no, let me muscle up the strength to come on here and do my little commentary. And that's why I said about losing a parent, and getting along with your parents and your siblings and stuff. Because I wanted to bring that little celebrity news and stuff that was going on and stuff. So I'm going to get ready to close. But I just want to say that if your mom or dad is living, make it right with them. Make it right with them. If you have siblings and stuff that y'all not getting along, make it right with them. Because unfortunately, I wish heaven had a phone, but it don't. It don't have a phone. I can't talk to her. I can talk to her in my heart and in my mind, and that's what I do. And sometimes I walk around here and be talking to my mom. Let me tell you what happened, or such and such and such. Well, I asked her, Mom, what you think I should do about such and such and such? God, give me a clear picture of what she's saying. And I remember when we would put some balloons on her grave, and we bought a beautiful bouquet of flowers. I like the birds of paradise. I don't know if y'all know, but look it up. Bird of paradise flower, roses, and all of that. And we were going to leave that on her grave. We don't know. We don't know. I mean, it was so beautiful. We spent a lot of money, and we had the balloons and stuff. And it was me and my daddy had gotten there. And I said something slick. Y'all won't believe. The air was calm, and I was holding the balloons, and I had said something slick. Do you know them balloons beat the hell out of me? And it was like my mom was, I said, Mom, I know I ain't been here or whatever. When I tell you them balloons went crazy and was hitting me all upside my head, bam, 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 bam. It wasn't no wind blowing out there, but them balloons was knocking me upside my head. I knew that was my mama. I said, Mama, I'm sorry. Can you please stop? I said, I'm sorry, Mama, I'm sorry. And all of a sudden, them balloons stopped. But before, them balloons was tearing my ass up. Bow, bow, bow. And I was trying to hold them and get them in there. Bow, bow, bow. I say, Mama, please stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that was my mama. I know that was her. Hey, ex-granny. How you doing? Hey, Sheila Kennebrew. I knew it was her. The balloons was tearing me up. But until I said I was sorry for what I said, baby, I swear to God, God and the balloon, they was tearing my face up, tearing me on my head up. I said, Daddy, I said, you see these balloons? Boy, we had some big ones. And I think we had the one with 1 year. And the other My Lord balloons. Bow, 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 bow. I'm doing this. Bow, bow. Mama, I'm sorry. Whatever I said, I'm sorry. Please stop. Please stop, Mama. Please. And them balloons just calmed down. And I laughed. I said, you still have a way of chunking something at somebody, hitting somebody. And I had to laugh about it. But yeah, today was the day. The day makes 5 years. Seemed like yesterday. But I was glad that everybody checked in today, and nobody had no sad emojis, no crying emojis. I'm thankful of that, because that would have set it off. That would have set it off. Anybody would put a crying emoji in there today, it wasn't gonna be pretty. So, with that being said, y'all, I'm Classy Lady. I hope y'all enjoy my commentary. Y'all, those of y'all that come in late, please go back and do the rewind. But you can fast forward to the first 13 minutes. The first 12 minutes was just jibber jabber. Fast forward to the first 13 minutes and then go from there. And then you'll catch my commentary. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm trying to get to the first 1,000 watch hours. I may have hit it. I don't know. I'm trying to get to my first 500 subscribers. So, yeah. Watch some of my lives, my shorts and things. Give me a view. Give me a thumbs up on it. Put me out there in that algorithm. And I appreciate everybody. So, I'm over an hour and a half. And I know it's late for some people. Thank y'all. Lord say the same. Oh, nope. I won't see y'all tomorrow. Maybe during the day, I'm going to see Ricky Smiley tomorrow night. Like them young folks say, I'm going to be outside. Y'all pray for me because outside, I'm getting old. And outside ain't the same as being outside. So I was out last weekend for Fantasia. This weekend I'm going to see Ricky Smiley at a smaller arena, but still, it's some walking and this old back ain't the same. So if I see y'all tomorrow, it will be during the daytime that I'll come on, or I may even take y'all riding with me to the venue because I got a ways to go. So, yeah, that may be what I do. I'll probably come on then. So, I'll see y'all later. And angels on everybody pillow. And God bless you. God loves you, and so do I.